But it's terrifying. It's terrifying. I can't pay for my ADHD medication, which I need to function. I'm trying to save up so I can get the oil changed on the car. Save up to get the oil changed on the car. I can't keep enough money in the accounts for all the bills to come out at the right time. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Sage Journey. My name is Drew Caroline, and today I am going to talk to you about what has been going on for the past 3 years that has made it impossible for me to complete the goals that I have. It's like every time I start to feel comfortable and I'm like, yes, I'm feeling good. I know where I want to go. I know what I want to do. I can now start putting in some effort. Oh, wait, universe goes, want to make a bet? Yeah, I could go back even further. But we are going to start when I found out I was pregnant with my daughter. Back in July of 2022, I found out I was pregnant with our daughter. And we started putting some of our goals into high gear. We knew when I had her that I was not going to be able to work for a little bit. I drive Lyft, that's what I've been doing for a while. That's a whole nother story of how I got into Lyft and why I've been continuing to do it. Little short synopsis is I've made more money doing Lyft than I have at almost any other job that I have done. And with the career that I am in, which is digital media, it's not as consistent work. So Lyft has been nice for supplemental income. But with the pandemic and stuff, it started being income for the most part. And after I got pregnant with my daughter, we were like, okay, well, I'm not going to be able to drive Lyft anymore because I'm going to have to watch her, and daycare is so expensive that I'd just be working to put her in daycare. So I wanted to work on my YouTube channel, really focus on that after she was born. So before she was born, I was really focusing on saving up money and paying off the credit card, which was going great until December of that year. End of December, beginning of January of 2003, the engine went on the car. Oh my goodness, that was hard. That was really hard because that was my income. That was all I was bringing in. And engines are expensive. It took them forever to figure out what was wrong. It took them forever to decide that, luckily, the warranty still covered the engine. So we only had to pay $700 for labor, but the engine was covered, which was like so needed. We could never have afforded a whole new engine. So that was good. That was good. But when I say it took a while, it took until after Fred was born. So January, and she was born in March. That's at least 3 months, if not more, that we were without our car, which was also an issue seeing I was a high-risk pregnancy. So I had an appointment once a week with my doctor, and I had to take a Lyft after that up to my doctor's to get my ultrasound to make sure everything was okay every single week, which adds up. And to try and make things more economical, to try and make sure I was using my time and our money wisely, I would take that opportunity after my doctor's appointment to walk about a half a mile, maybe a little bit more, to the Winco that was nearby the doctor's office, and then lift the groceries and myself home every week. This was expensive though, and anytime we had to go somewhere, we had to either find someone to drive us, which was almost impossible, to having to call Lyft all the time. So not going to get the credit card paid off before the baby's born, but that's okay. That's all right. So March 10th of 2023, Winifred came into our lives, and she's been a joy. Absolutely love her. But for the first 6 months, I couldn't work. One, she broke my body when she came out. Like, my tailbone was so bruised. I thought I had broken it. I could barely sit. It hurt so bad. I never even expected my tailbone to be affected the way that it was, but whew. So I couldn't sit to drive. Not to mention, I was breastfeeding and everything, and I was leaking all over the place all the time. I had to be home. I had to be with her. Tailbone, everything. It was just, it was quite the recovery. After about 6 months, she started on solid food. I was able to leave and start lifting at night, which was good. I was like, okay, I'm starting to bring some money in again. Maybe I can pay off the credit card. And I do want to start really focusing on my YouTube channel, which I kept trying to do a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more through this time. So from October until around December of that year, 2023, things were looking pretty good. And then about the end of December, beginning of January 2024, we were having some issues with the car again. So I took it in, to get it looked at, and I can't remember exactly what was wrong with it right now. I want to say it was the hydraulic system or something like that. But they had to flush out the system. And when they flushed it out, it made it worse, which sometimes that happens. I know I'm not giving full details right now, but it's been several years and I'm not a car expertise, so I don't quite remember all the details. But anyways, we had to get a new part, which was $6,000, and we didn't have even $6,000 in the credit card to use. So, I was having a little bit of a panic attack. But I have to say, when that happened, I was on my anxiety medication for the first time, and it really helped. I still feel the anxiety. The anxiety is still there, but that rush of adrenaline that causes me to cry and not be able to focus and just like the adrenaline rush doesn't happen anymore, which is really nice. So I was able to handle it a lot better. But we did have to get out a $10,000 loan to pay for the parts and labor. Okay, all right, you know what? That's fine. Whatever. It's life. It happens. We can push forward. We can continue. We can do this. So that's what we did. We pushed forward. I wasn't going to let this stop me. We were pushing forward, but I was still like, okay, no, I can still focus on my YouTube channel. I'm home with Fred all day, and I want to get baking and crafts and stuff like that going. I can do this. I'm going to focus on this and hopefully bring in money this way so that I don't have to work to put Fred in daycare. And I get to use my degree and do stuff that I enjoy from home, and all of that sounded great to me. And I was really hunkering down, really focusing, splurged a little on some project supplies. And then beginning of April 2024, my husband came home and told me he lost his job. He's a computer programmer, and he's been looking for work for the past 2 years now. Over 2 years? And he gets a lot of, thank you so much for your interest. We will keep your resume on file. Thank you. Gotten interviews, second interviews. It's saturated out there. There's just so many people looking for jobs and people getting laid off. And as a Lyft driver, I hear this story so many times. I am not the only one going through these issues. So after that, I had to hunker down and Lyft. That was my job now. Like full steam ahead. I have to Lyft while he stays at home, watches Fred, and looks for a new job. So my YouTube channel was not going to turn into the crafting, baking thing that I wanted. So I started doing stuff about my life and days of my life and weeks of my life because that's what I could do. And consistency was the name of the game. And I did pretty well. I was pretty proud of myself because, I was getting it all done. Although there's no way I was going to make enough lifting to pay for everything, all of our bills and the apartment and everything. So he was going to have to find a new job. And of course he was going to, right? Like in the beginning, that's what we thought. Like, of course you're going to get a new job. He has experience. These jobs are all over the place, right? But that hasn't happened yet. By January of 2005, we knew we couldn't keep the apartment anymore. We weren't going to be able to re-sign the lease and stay there any longer. So we started looking for places that we could move and people that we could move in with. And then our really good friend was like, hey, look, I'm a bachelor. Doesn't spend a lot of his money on extravagant things. He has a really nice car, so he buys stuff that he really wants. It's like, and a house is a good investment. And he didn't want us to move too far away because he enjoys our company. So he bought this house for all of us to live in well, we were getting on our feet and we were going to be companions for him, and we were trying to make it symbiotic, you know, we were doing all of the cleaning and the cooking, still are. It's nice to have that support system, and we really, 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 really appreciate him and his help. And it's been nice. But my husband still can't get a job. He's been looking and he's been looking. And I keep hearing it from more and more people that the same thing's going on in their work, where they just had layoffs and they're worried they're going to have more layoffs. And so just very, very stressful out there. And then at the end of December of 2025 and the beginning of January of 2026, we had to make some other decisions. One, our insurance that was like $100 a month went up to $360 a month. Okay, we can't afford this. We ended up getting back on Medicaid, which I'm glad it's there, but there was a whole messy situation trying to get our medication covered by the insurance, and I was very excited. I finally got the information that yes, our medication's covered by the insurance. Yeah, not even half of it. My medication is $176, and it is now $124 for my ADHD medication. And my husband's is $100. That is a lot of money. That's a days of work. That's 2 days of work for both of our medications. That's 2 days of work for me. And I need my ADHD medication to function. So it took forever for things to get through the red tape so that my medication was covered and I still can't afford it. Okay, great, fantastic. On top of that, I can't keep up on the bills. Like, I can't afford this medication, let alone I can't keep up on all of our bills. And the credit card interest rate was more than almost a week's work. Oh, so we had a serious talk about going through bankruptcy, which is what we started to do at the end of January. And it felt really good. It felt really good. It felt like the right thing to do. We were trying, we kept on paying off the credit card and then having to put money on the credit card. And there was no end in sight of now paying off the credit card when the job market is such a dark, barren wasteland as it is. So, yeah, we decided to declare bankruptcy. And it felt good. It felt like I could breathe after making that decision. No one likes not fulfilling their debts. No one likes, letting people down. But there was nothing we could do. There was no lifeboat, no raft coming. We're in our raft. This house is our raft, and it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. So we've been going through bankruptcy. And the silver lining is that without having so much debt and so many bills to pay, that hopefully I could start saving up a little bit of money. And maybe actually splurging a little on some fabric and stuff and baking stuff so I can do what I'm interested in. And then at the end of February this year, our roommate came home and told us he got fired. He's also a computer programmer like my husband. It's a tale as old as time. We lost money this quarter. We need to let some people go. You just finished a project. That guy's working on 3 projects, so instead of giving you a new project, we're letting you go. So if we're smart and we pull all of our resources, we can stay here for about a year to 6 months. We're trying to get out before that, but it's terrifying. It's terrifying. Like, I have no idea. I can't pay for my ADHD medication, which I need to function. I'm trying to save up so I can get the oil changed on the car. Save up to get the oil changed on the car. Oh, I can't keep enough money in the accounts for all the bills to come out at the right times. Like, it keep getting messages that there wasn't enough funds. Heart palpitations. Luckily, my anxiety medication isn't too expensive. I can afford that one. When I found out that my ADHD medication was covered, yay! And then I found out that they only were covering like $30 of it, and I was still paying the bulk. I wanted to scream. Like, I felt like screaming right in the middle of Smith's. I wanted to so bad. I needed to get the anger and but I can't. So, that is what's going on in my life. That is my life. Just, I can't get out. We can't get out. And now, so I am going to continue to try and work on my projects. I'm going to continue to try and do some baking videos. But I really don't know what this channel is going to be because I don't know what I have time to do for it. I'm going to continue to try and do a video once a week, but a video of what exactly? I don't know. I want it to be entertaining. I want it to be something people actually want to see. I've really enjoyed the baking ones, and I do want to do more crafts. But I'm trying to figure out time and how. One of the things that we are doing is there's a podcast that I've been wanting to start for literally years, like 5 years or more. And now that we're all under the same roof, we're actually starting the podcast. We've already recorded 2 episodes, and I'm very excited. It's hopefully going to come out this Friday. So yeah, this should be out on Sunday. So it'll be this Friday. It's called Mage Site. I will link it when it actually comes out, but look for it. We're going to have an Instagram and a Patreon and everything. So hopefully that all goes well and people like the podcast, because nobody out there is hiring. So we need to make our own jobs. So that's what we're trying to do. Along with that, if you like what I'm doing and you want to see more of me, and you want to see me do more than just, hey, here's my life, here's what I'm doing, here's driving Lyft, here's that. But you want to see me do crafts, you want to see me bake, maybe even go places if we had money, although nobody has money, so maybe you don't want to see me go places, but I want to go places because that would be fun. But if you want to see more of me, and if you want to help me pay for my ADHD medication so that I can be functioning and productive, please subscribe, like, and hit the bell icon so that you never miss an episode and YouTube knows that you want to see more of me. And hopefully I can start giving you better news about what's going on in my life. And yeah, so I'm scared. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Bye.